Test, test, test. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 1L Studios here in friendly Bedford, Texas. Bear with me tonight as I'm going through one of my first versions of this golf lesson podcast review situation. So, trying to get all the bells and whistles lined up properly so I can show you a video of a lesson I had. Test, test, test. Hello,
Whoa,
hello, hello.
that is
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome
delayed.
to the 1L Studios here in friendly Bedford, Texas. Bear with me tonight as I'm going through one of my first versions
that's
of
probably
this
from YouTube
golf lesson podcast review situation. So, trying to get all the bells and whistles lined up properly so I can show you a video of a lesson I had. Test, test, test. Hello,
Whoa,
hello, hello.
that is
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. All right, forget about that one. All right, so I'm Clay Winnell, I'm PGA professional, and I'm going to take you inside my first golf lesson with a new student here, Nate, as a means of showing you how I go about teaching golf and what I think is important to work on with someone here that's a mid-20s handicap that has just a little bit of time that he's willing to allocate towards working on his game. So I'll just kind of let this play for now and come in once the audio kicks out. I had a little wireless mic on my lapel. For whatever reason, it died about 20 minutes in. But the first part of this, I think, is valuable for everybody out there. So here I'm having Nate just hit a couple balls. He's getting loose.
Have you been working on anything in particular?
Yeah, so I back up. So I just picked this up really late.
Okay.
I've only been playing this for like maybe 6-7 years.
Okay.
No lessons, which is opposite what I should have done. I tried to figure out first that I would try to hinge like this and then I would come and chop. So literally a year ago, I went back to square. I'm like, okay, because I was getting way up here and all this weird stuff like this. So now I'm trying to just swing with my body, but I still don't have a good takeaway.
Okay.
I really don't. I get too high. I don't have much trouble slicing. I usually hook more. But usually if I get in, let's see if I can do it.
His miss is a big high shot off to the right. It's pretty straight, but it's just a block. Very flippy at the bottom, not super powerful. So right off the bat, I'm looking at how to get his circle more on plane.
Okay.
So I'm listening to Nate tell me about what he thinks is going on in the swing. It's really hard to tell what's going on in your own swing.
So when I look at your video, I see a couple of things. Obviously, you're in good physical shape. You exercise like crazy.
Yeah,
do you have any
trouble with rotations or anything like that?
Do you have any lower back pain or knee pain
That's all from me and my hip flexors getting super tight because I sit down all the day.
Okay.
Stuff like this. That's just years of doing that.
Stay tuned for hip flexor Tipperooskies from Stephanie Vanderbeck, a Eldoa instructor. And if you're one of those people out there that's like, man, stretching is cool and all, but it's not the end all be all. I was having a hard time walking around, and then went and saw Stephanie, friend of Melissa's, and she gave me a couple of Eldoa exercises to stretch some things out down here, and I was able to get up and walk out of the place. And I still do the stretches every time before I play golf. So stay tuned for some words from her in the future as we hopefully partner a little bit here in the 1L Studios. Have a little 1-2 puncher there with the golf instruction and maybe some body maintenance.
But otherwise, no.
But you're not guarding anything in particular. Okay. So I'm looking at you. I see speed. I see a swing that wants speed. And just based on your setup, you're throttling back unnecessarily. So my goal for this first lesson is to get really intentional with your setup.
Okay.
It's easy to have a golf lesson be a barrage of new information, so the student doesn't really know what to pick and choose. But I sort of set the intent for this lesson all about getting intentional with our setup. So that's sort of my overarching goal for this particular lesson, was to give Nate basically a new chassis around which he's going to swing this club. He just was set up in not as efficient way as possible.
And I was looking at your grip. I don't want to attack the grip the first time. I want you to get some like immediate.
Grip changes are scary. Grip changes are coming to you, Nate, but not in the first lesson. That's a chapter 2. Once we get your body set up right, then we got to get your hands set up right.
Immediate speed results. And the way we're going to achieve that is just with a little different setup. So when I saw your video that you sent me, you're kind of doing the traditional thing, which is what I was taught to do growing up, but where you kind of get your back on this kind of angle here, got the butt out a little bit, and it looks, you know, looks like what you're supposed to try to do, but it makes it a little bit unathletic. It makes you unathletic. So the paradox is this. So the way we're going to get into a proper posture, like the hottest golf instructor right now is this guy, George Gankus. He calls it grandpa posture. So it's not grandpa, it's just like ready posture. He explains, like, so if you're going to be a wrestler, does a wrestler start out down here? No, he starts here and then he moves in. Right. Okay, same thing with a baseball player. A baseball player is not going to start here in the outfield. He's going to start here and then react. Okay. So the goal is to get you into a more athletic golf posture. And the way we're going to get there is real simple. We're going to have our pelvis in between our feet, standing straight up and down, very neutral. And then I want you to feel like your mid-spine rounds here and your upper spine goes down. And that's it. That gets you down to the ball. So it's going to look.
So I don't know if you could hear all that or not. I assume you can. So let's not have that butt out, and let's go armpits through the knees into the balls of the feet in as straight of a line as possible. So excited to be able to use my cool new pen I got at a garage sale. Yes.
It's going to look like hunched over grandpa. Okay. But what you're going to be able to do with that is you're going to have room to move. So we start tall, mid spine goes, upper spine down. That gives you room to go up so you can go down and around. And that's what I see on videos. I see you're coming in, your posture is a little bit deep in your heels, you're kind of flat-footed. That club rolls in and we get a little across the line, and then you're a good athlete, so you reroute and you get the club on the ball, but it's just unnecessarily complicated. Okay. So let's just try to get into that posture a couple of times, and I think it's going to feel pretty natural quickly. So again, we've got our grip, and let's just start super tall, just like this. Tiny bit of bend in your knees so you feel the weight in the balls of your feet. The balls of my feet. Yeah. Okay. And now, without letting your butt scoot back any further this way, keep your butt where it is, and then mid spine here goes like this, boom, and then upper spine goes down here. So that gets your arms down to the ground pretty.
And this is just directly plagiarized from George Gankus. This is not my stuff here, guys, but it's the best explanation of the setup that I've ever experienced myself and seen immediate results with. So
straight.
It's the truth.
Let's just try a couple of those and see if we can feel any difference.
Right off the bat, I'm seeing
so what you're going to do with this more athletic posture is you're going to rotate more naturally. Okay. So when I'm looking at your swing, you're perfectly capable of great rotation. It's just that your setup was restricting your body's natural ability to turn. So I want you to feel really soft, like there's no tension at all. We're going to start really tall, a little tiny knee bend, weight in the balls of our feet. We don't want that butt to stick out. So we're straight up here, a little bit of bend in the mid spine, and then upper spine gets down to the ball. And then you're going to feel really soft over that ball, and just think turn, turn.
So I'm just trying to get really specific with being intentional with the setup, keeping the student's mind on the posture.
The goal right now is to get into a little bit more.
He hit his first ball really good, and you can tell every time when you introduce a new variable and someone hits a good shot, then there's this desire to be like, ooh, what if I can do that new thing and swing hard? And then you lose
reactionary, athletic, kind of soft posture. low tension. I think that looks excellent. Armpits over the balls of your feet. And let's, for a couple, I want you to do like crazy slow. So we're gonna get into posture. And then I just want you to go like this. Just get a sense of turn, like your chest is moving your arms. Your arms are not independent. There you go. I like the posture. Maybe feet a touch wider, like a little further than shoulder width.
How's that?
A little more. It's gonna feel awkward.
Yeah, I feel awkward, but
Okay. Trust that. Real slow for me.
I went back to my weight of my heels, but it was easy to swing.
It's okay. Yeah, you should feel a little bit more freed up rotation in your hips and in your shoulders. You should be able to get a little bit more natural big turn behind that ball. That's what's going to bring your speed. Let's just really try to get intentional with that setup. A little wider with our feet. We're going to feel the weight in the balls of our feet. Rounding in the mid spine, and then the upper spine gets you down to the ball. We're trying to just, that's very nice right there.
Shank.
Couple more real slow ones, and then we're gonna.
I know I'm
talk
onto
about the
something when
top
I
of the
see a
swing.
shank because something different's happening. Yes.
Nice and tall. Start like ridiculously
Divorce
tall.
the result.
Just
from
totally
the
as like
process.
neutral as you can too. Shoulder blades straight, kneecap straight, everything straight. A little bit around. Grandpa.
That's kind of hard to do, by the way, have everything straight, shoulders straight, knees. If you pay attention to your body's natural alignment, you'll see a lot of times you'll be kind of hunched in a weird way that you're not even aware of. So it helps to take stock of trying to get everything as neutral as you can here.
Style. There we go. That looks beautiful.
And I'm not looking for the result
Okay.
on these golf shots here. I'm just trying to help the player get
right.
into a more comfortable setup position. Now I've got this yellow and blue ball in hand as my audio kicks out here. So I'll have, I'll narrate the rest here. But I've got this yellow and blue impact ball. This is kind of like a must-have, a golf instruction tool for all sorts of things, chipping, full swing, putting even. So you wedge it in between the forearms here. And my intent with this is to help Nate feel a more connected swing where his arms are moving along with his chest. A lot of golfers, the arms tend to swing freely from the chest, and things just get a little squirrely. So I'm just trying to rein in Nate's feel, just trying to see if there's, I've got like a check down of different things that I can work with. And I brought this impact ball after watching some videos that he sent me early that I thought it might be able to get him connected. And those little rehearsals there to him where that club is coming out and away with a passive club face, that's got to just feel so bizarre to him. As he's doing this here, and as we're looking at this, Nate, let me see if I can put a line on here. So I'm trying to get you to swing kind of on or above that line here as we do these rehearsal swings, and we can take a look here as we try to hit a couple, if we stay on top of that or we get okay, see how we came underneath that right off the ball? So I'm trying to, over time, get Nate to use more space over here on top of the plane. And these are just small 50% swings. I keep asking students time and time again, you know, just give me a 30-yard shot here. It's very natural to try to want to kill everything. So these swings are a little bit big for what I'm looking for ideally, but sorry, I just had a FaceTime call from the missus. Putting the impact ball in between the arms can be a little confusing, but really good teaching aid. That and the orange whip are some of the two greats in my opinion. just trying to kind of give the body a new feel right off the ball. I want Nate to have some immediate success here. And so I'm just kind of going down a checklist of some things that I don't want to change his swing in a huge way. I just want to give him some feels as an athlete. There I'm sort of saying, hey, gradual takeaway. Let's not yank it back to the inside so much. And as we're looking at that, Nate, you're doing a good job of pulling that club with a very passive club face, but really exaggerate out and away for now. Here's that stick that I just drew. I'm trying to encourage Nate to kind of feel a swing where a tilted hula hoop would be on top of that stick so he wouldn't hit the stick. I'm really going to have to guide him out and away. And that might seem like a really drastic change, but I think this is the way that his body, wants to swing. We're just working towards a couple of new feels here. That was different. That was cool. Just trying to keep these swings really small. And again, just trying different drills. I think the one thing that I regret from this lesson, in all transparency, was trying too many things all at once. I got a little excited, but here in a minute, we hit on a feel that was really game changing for Nate in his shoulder turn. So a lot of golf instruction is kind of guess and check. You got to see what is resonating with your student. You got to see what is distracting, what makes sense. You just want to have, keep building on little aha moments so your player doesn't get too discouraged. But my intent with Nate is to, give him some serious, that was a good swing, to give him, a roadmap to success given his time availability. I know people don't have a ton of time to practice, and that's totally fine. But when you do practice and play, there are things that you can do, even if you play super infrequently, that will get you on a more where you're able to set a goal and track your progress instead of just going out and randomly playing every time and trying to, shoot better scores. So as I get to know Nate better on the golf course and with golf instruction, I'm excited to give him drills and thought processes for the golf course. But in this first lesson, we're just really talking about that posture, because his posture coming into the lesson, he had his butt kind of sticking out a little bit and was just wasn't able to move as efficiently as I would have liked. So now we're transitioning into a new drill. I think we're going to do the cross up shaft across the shoulders drill here. Uh-oh. My Zoom my Zoom sharing has ended. Thought that was a little unnecessarily complicated setup here. Tell you what, this isn't the best format for this anyway. I tried it out, and what I'm going to do, Nate and anybody out there viewing, is do a little post-production edit on our lesson video together. Yeah, so we'll do that.